Please announce yourself. All participants are muted. Entry and exit tones are off.
Okay, appreciate that, D Money. My man D Money holding me down out there. My name's Haziq Ali, and good morning, millionaires. Welcome to another edition of, far as I know, the world's only, you know, entrepreneurship training, mindset developing, completely free of charge training just to extend life expectancy of the entrepreneur. We call it Good Morning Millionaire because every morning, I bring a bunch of my friends along with me to not only kind of like give up a little bit of the game and how it works, but also we go through affirmations. I do affirmations because in the beginning was the word, right? Way before TED Talk invitations, way before Inc. 5000, fastest growing company in America designations, way before, seven, approaching 8-figure net worth, et cetera, so forth. I was sleeping in my car. Now I've always had, a business instinct because my pops put it in me to like, boy, these people don't care nothing about you. You know what I mean? You're going to have to be self-sufficient if you're going to make something happen in this crazy world. I got it honest, right? Like my pops was super serious about all of that. But with that said, I still found myself homeless. So what do? What do you do when you bump into some adversity? What do you do when you find yourself in a place you never dreamed you would be? I mean, because let's be honest, you ain't think you was gonna end up sleeping in your car. You were crying while you were boiling that water. You tried to keep your kids from seeing it, but you were sobbing as you was boiling that water to get him a bath. You know what I'm saying? Like you're like, how can you not even have hot water, dog? And you supposedly so smart and all of this stuff. Check it out. You got to find a way to stay positive. You got to find a way to stay positive. And even then, before I could, proudly proclaim that I had a therapist and all this other stuff, God bless me because of the fact that I was open to change because I knew this couldn't be it. I knew that this could not be my lot in life. But I want to ask you something. Do you ever find yourself in a zone where you're constantly in sort of like this anxious state that something's going to go wrong, right? Are you going to end up losing your job and sleeping in your car like I did? When you're driving down the road, are you just imagining the truck veering into your lane and wiping you into the trees over there? A whole bunch of us have a constant barrage of negative thoughts that we learn to cultivate in our childhoods. Like we learn this. Parents, preachers, teachers, well-meaning but underachieving friends. Like they taught us these habit thoughts. That's why I'm so big on getting us into the habits, the awareness of the habits that we utilize, because we're forming habits until they start to form us, right? But a habit that I noticed that a lot of people in this world have, call it the news media, call it this societal hypnotic sort of like trance that everybody's in. Most people call it the way the brain is made up. Most people are focusing on negativity. Most people constantly going through life waiting on the worst to happen. We fix our minds on the worst case scenario because of the fact that our brain is a prediction advice / survival machine. It's going to predict the worst that can happen because it's got to keep you safe. Predicting the best that can happen has nothing to do with keeping you safe. So that ain't the brain's domain. That's not what, right? You've got to put your hand on that steering wheel and take it into your own hands. You've got to take this whole thing into something that you are choosing to make a choice to change. So what I got for you is 9 different mindsets that if you jot these down, it may be able to help you kind of like pull yourself back from the abyss when you feel yourself starting to peer over into that thing. You know, it's not so much the heights that scare you, it's the looking down. You get what I'm saying to you? So I got 9 of them for you. I want you to write these down. And every time you hear one you agree with, I want you to give me a share. Somebody say 9 ways to stay positive. These are 9 mindsets that can keep anybody positive. You hear me, coach? Yeah, good morning, Tracy. Crystal clear in the house. All right, Coach Spencer in here too. That's what's up. That's what's up. Let's get it. Let's get it. Hey, whoever that is that's shouting people out from one of the Facebook groups, we love and appreciate you. All right, here's the first one I got for you. They don't marinate in what happened in the past. Write that down. That's one of the main things that you got to learn to do. And you're going to hear a common theme through these 9 joints that I'm about to give you. But something that can help you stay positive is this realization that no matter what happened, you can't change it, right? Only thing you can do is change the way you frame it. There's nothing you can do today to change the past. Am I making sense? There's nothing you can do today to change the past. Y'all ever heard that it's like an adage where they be like, yesterday is history, tomorrow's a mystery, but today is a gift. That's why we call it the present. Well, just think about that for a minute. The present allows you to create the life you want. It's the present that allows you to take life into your own hands. It's this moment right here where you can plant the seeds to change your relationship situation, to be able to change your health situation, to be able to change your financial situation. Think about that for a minute, because so many of us get caught into that. And that leads us into number 2 I got for you this morning. Positive people live with less guilt and regret. Because of this power to not ruminate on the bad parts of what just now happened, what it allows us to do is instead, because you can't erase thoughts, you got to replace thoughts, right? You can't erase thoughts, you have to replace thoughts. You're not just going to be able to erase the negativity. The whole play is being able to replace it. And you've never seen something that only has one side. Like if there's a hot, there has to be a cold. It's called the law of polarity. If there's an up, there has to be a down. You know, I've told some of my friends about this before, but one of my proudest moments as a dad was when, you know, my youngest daughter caught COVID, and, you know, she said with no prompting from her pops, but it's okay. There's got to be something positive about this. Now I'm going to get to read more books. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Check it out. No matter what they did in the past, no matter what happened in the past, you're not going to find positive people with all the same levels of regret and guilt, right? About what went wrong or what they did wrong. Why? Because when you have the right mindset, you're able to see even these misguided decisions as opportunities to learn. And I'd rather make the mistake when it's $10 than a mistake when it's $100. I'd rather make the mistake when, you know, I'm not even, I'm not even going to go deeper with that because we got so much more to cover. Y'all get what I'm saying? Millionaires, you learn more, you earn more. And the number one tool that the human being uses to create wisdom is the mistake. Here's the third thing I got for you, right on that tip. When's the last time you saw a disappointment as a blessing? That's what positive people do. Positive people see disappointment as a blessing. Some people think of disappointments as failures, but the world class, they view this as a gift, right? These are seeds of wisdom. These are seeds of experience. This is more story that you're going to be able to share with other people. Somebody write this in the comments and give me a share. Jay-Z said it, and I was like, that is so profound in its simplicity. How many of you, if you've ever had a bad experience become a good memory, somebody give me a share. How many times have you seen bad experiences become good memories? The reason I mention that is because that should give you some power if you're going through a bad experience right now. How many times do these crazy experiences become the best stories? Am I right? Even if it looks bad now, it's a gift. It has something to offer. Here's number 4. Positive people don't blame other people. Positive people don't blame other people. If you're into positivity, aka abundance, the one that's represented in science with the plus sign, versus negativity, which is represented by the minus. Like we know negativity is pulling away from you, right? Positive is adding on. Check this out. The number one way to give away your power is through playing the blame game, right? What the abundant minded, what the millionaire minded do when they come across something challenging is choose from a menu that just doesn't have blaming other people on it. Ain't nobody who's millionaire minded looking to pin the blame, get angry at somebody, hold grudges against people who could have contributed to the challenges. If you're millionaire minded, if you're really in an abundance mind state, then what you're generally doing is looking at other people like they're good and doing the best they can under the circumstances. And what you realize is that the only healthy response to a crisis is to say it's my responsibility. You know, we always hear that with great power comes great responsibility, but I'm here to tell you, with great responsibility comes great power. You cannot keep playing a blame game and think you're going to be a master of the universe out here. You've got to do what I'm suggesting in number 5, which is actively look for the good. You've got to actively look for the good. You got to plan your pleasure. You hear me? Don't nobody have to plant no weeds. You know, weeds show up on their own. You got to actively plant. You know, there's a law of the universe that we just went into called polarity. Well, there's another law called entropy, right? Which means that anything, when left to its own devices, anything in this world, when left to its own, is going to start to move towards chaos. It's going to start to move towards disorder. It's called the law of entropy, right? It's a law of the universe, the law of entropy. Anything left to its own devices is going to start to move towards disorder. Like if a bird craps on your car and you don't wash it off, it's going to start to eat away at the paint. If your car just sits there on the side of the road, the tires are going to start to dry rot, because if you don't use it, you lose it. What am I saying? I'm saying that if left to its own devices, your brain is naturally going to take you to your lowest possible state. That's not the way your mind was designed. You've got to test your mind to look beyond its comfort zone. You've got to test yourself to stretch, because if not, you're going to contract. If something isn't growing, then it's decaying. This is nature. This is the universe. Grow or die. So what the millionaire minded are doing, what the abundance minded are doing, is they're actively looking for the good. You could be in the ocean and notice how dirty the beach is. You can be on an airplane and notice how the Wi-Fi sucks. If you fly Spirit, you can notice how it feels like you're on a roller coaster. But roller coasters are fun. And the Wi-Fi not working means that yeah, I had to ride Spirit the other day. I'm financially conscious, you know what I mean? But, you know, it was this thing. I had to catch a last minute flight. It was my daughter's birthday. I couldn't miss the flight, you know. It's a long story. Don't judge me. But yes, I did fly Spirit recently. And oh my God, when I got off the plane, I wanted to kiss the ground. You know how in the movies they'd be like, oh my God. But guess what? I like roller coasters sometimes. You know what I mean? So I was able, right? Anyway, all I'm saying is that if you're positive, you're going to find the positive in any situation. They have a set of lenses that allow them to scan the world for anything helpful, anything inspiring, because there's always the law of polarity at work. And that means if there's something bad about it, there's something good about it. If there's a hot, that's proof that there's a cold. If there's a right, that's proof that there's a left. If there's a up, that's proof that there's a down. So if there's a bad, that's proof that there's a good. You know what I mean? All right. Here's number 6. They keep an eye on their words, their thoughts, and their friends. This is a deep one. I could have split that into 3, but we ain't got the time. I just want you to remember the positive, the abundance status kind of people. They focus on their words, their thoughts, and their friends. Now, what do we mean by that? Because the world class understand that words, and even more importantly, thoughts matter. So they're more conscious about what goes into their mind, because it can start to influence your thoughts. Think about that. How did it help you watching the news and finding out that, such and such got into, a shootout at the gas station? Like, how does that help you? Right? All I'm saying is that garbage in, garbage out. You want to make sure that your intake of information is positive, that it's helpful, that allows you to watch your thoughts. You want to make sure that when you're journaling and when you're meditating, you're able to think about what you're thinking about. Maybe you want to squash the thoughts of doom and gloom and instead celebrate thoughts of hope, because they both represent faith. It's just, do you have faith in the worst that can happen, or do you have faith in the best that can happen? Am I making sense? What are you doing to keep an inner circle of encouraging and inspiring, but not enabling friends, right? Instead of a bunch of people who see the glass as half empty. I got 9 of these for you. So we down to the last 3. Is this making sense to somebody? Are you adding these to your power book? If you joined us late, I want to challenge you. Write this stuff down so you can refer to it. Y'all going in about spirit. Some of y'all must have flown spirit before. Number 7 is the world class, the most positive people that you know. They see setbacks they see setbacks, they see disappointments, they see challenges as temporary. This is big book about entrepreneurship that says this too shall pass. Positive people are always looking at difficult situations like they're passing seasons, they're passing moments like clouds or a rainy day. You can't see a heavy rainfall or a violent storm as something that's going to last forever. That'd be ridiculous. And that's just like your life. You got to understand that this too shall pass. Somebody give me that in a share. This too shall pass. I'm going to tell you another little secret little sauce that we put on it when we're really working on our mindset. We realize that we're going to use these rocks that were thrown at us as strength for our foundation, right? We understand that, like, not only is this going to pass, but what it leaves behind is going to be the ingredients that we need to create a much better recipe for life. Millionaires, number 8 I got for you is that they stay hopeful. It sounds pedestrian. It sounds like something of the t-shirt bumper sticker vibe, but you got to keep hope alive. The worst thing that hanging out with the poor does for you is not just that they give you their values. It's not just that they give you their opinions. The worst thing that hanging out with losers does for you is that they start to give you their expectations. You have a superpower called expectation. But what are you expecting to happen today? You can see it in your children really clear. You can see if they're expecting good things to happen at school today, or if they're expecting, something horrible. You can see if they're looking at it with anticipation or anxiety. You can see it. You can see if they're looking at it with faith or fear. You can see it. Millionaires, the business might be failing. There might not be a single customer. You might be in debt. But if you remain hopeful, you're still in the game. It sounds so simple. But don't you understand at this point that you've been through all these challenging situations, all these challenging financial issues? I don't care if it was a big debt or a big investment. You were like, how am I going to pull this off? And look at you still here. You've been through all these emotional situations. Right, ladies? Like, man, I thought this dude was blah blah, and I don't know how I'm gonna make it without. And look at you, you're still here, right, fellas? Like, she broke your heart, and you're still here, right? It gets greater later. You had health challenges, you know. Some of you had health challenges where you was literally, praying in that car when you got out the doctor's office, or you were praying in that car, before you went into the dentist, or you were praying in that car before he or she went into that went onto that surgery table, right? But check it out. Look at you. You're still here. I'm just pointing that out because I want you to remember what a lot of times you forget when all hell is breaking loose. So far, you have a perfect record of surviving every tragedy that has come your way. What you want to do is stay in your zone. And the last one that I got for you is that you want to be a pronoid, not a paranoid. Y'all know the difference? Y'all know the difference? You need to be a pronoid, not a paranoid. You know the difference? A paranoid feels that the whole world is conspiring against them. That's what it means to be paranoid. A pronoid believes that the entire universe is conspiring in their favor. You have a choice. You got a choice to see this thing however you want to see it. You can see life and your surrounding circumstances as bad karma, and that life is looking to stick it to you, right? Or you can choose to see all of these tests as strengthening your neck for the crown. I don't know how many of you have ever picked up a crown in real life, right? I forget where I was, you know what I mean? But, these things are way heavier than you think, right? Sometimes, even wearing jewelry and whatnot, like, this stuff is heavy. It's hard work being a king. It's hard work being a queen. Those robes, those things are heavy. You ever heard that expression, heavy is the head that wears the crown? Millionaires. Maybe you see it as the whole world is beating you down, or maybe you see it as you're being prepared for the throne. You can see it as you being tested so that your muscles don't atrophy. You can see it as this test being something that's going to be used for someone you need to mentor in the future. You can see it if you choose to understand that a plane doesn't take off with the wind. A plane takes off only and always against the resistance. No wind, no flight. You hear me? And all I'm saying is, if you believe the world is supporting you, if you believe the laws of nature themselves are fighting in your favor, you're going to expect good things to unfold. You're going to expect surprises. You're going to have miracles happen, because miracles are just a change in consciousness. We're never going to forget Peter walked on water too, because of his consciousness shifting. You understand what I'm saying to you? You're going to start to see circumstances as in your favor every time. You're going to start to recognize how the odds were actually in your favor in that last situation that you went through, because if it wasn't for that, you wouldn't be ready for this. Am I making sense? Millionaires, it's all about your perspective. And it's all about the fact that every day you get the 3 C's, another chance to make a choice that allows you to change. I hope this was helpful for you today. It's affirmation time. It's affirmation time. Call in right now, right now. We're about to get started. It's affirmation time. It's affirmation time. Let's get it. If you haven't joined the newsletter yet, I want to encourage you to do so right now. Get our newsletter. Every single week, we focus on mindset, skill set, or heart set. You know what I'm saying? Every single week. There's a little section on mindset, a little section on skill set, and a little section on heart set that you can get right in the newsletter. And so make sure you subscribe if you haven't yet. That's super important. Yeah. All right. The number is right there. Repeat after me, millionaires. If it tries to charge you to call in, just text message call me to the same number. Let's go, entrepreneurs. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's go solve some problems today. You become valuable, you become powerful. You know what I'm saying to you? Let's get it. Let's get it. You become valuable, you become powerful, right? Take this chance. You got to make a choice to change. Make somebody's day to life. Make somebody's day today. Dedicate your life to changing lives. And then you're going to notice everything just falls in place for your own. I repeat after me. Let's get it. I am